has more than 20 years of experience as a business consultant, life coach, executive coach, mentor, and a facilitator. He is known for his integrity, simplicity, and commitment. Krishnan's expertise lies in principle-based solutions that have helped him ensure sustainable results for individuals and teams across the globe. He has trained and coached companies like Microsoft, IBM, Wipro, Samsung, and the likes. His ability to relate to a real-life situation with a daily powerful tip is phenomenal. His simple tips are meaningful and can bring about powerful shifts in people's mindsets. I have with me Coach Krishnan Raman. So are you ready to get coached? Thank you so much, Krishnan, for being on this platform. It is our pleasure to have you and talk to you about some of the greatest ideas that can help people to become better. Thank you.
Thank you, Samira. Thanks for the invite.
So, since we are talking about coaching and you have been an engineer, and the shift from being an engineer, an IT person, to the coaching business, how did that shift happen?
Okay, thank you. So I'll clarify. I was not an engineer, but I had done my information technology, a diploma from NIIT long back. And I used to run my IT company. And when I started running my company, I'm not from a business family. So I asked somebody, how do you run a company? And he said, hire people who are better than you and listen to them. So I thought, okay, let me do that. And then they would come to me for approvals. So I would tell them, no, you are better than me. Why don't you take a decision? And so I started coaching them on how to think like a leader, how to take decisions like a leader. And then when Franklin Covey was coming to India, they hired me as an IT vendor. And then, they asked me, what do you like doing? I said, I love teaching. I love coaching. So I said, what are you doing running an IT company? Why don't you become a facilitator? I said, I don't know the art. So they said, we'll teach you that. And so I took a chance. I jumped into the water. And since then, I've been swimming.
So out of the Stephen Covey's book, I'm talking about 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There are 7 habits that are talked about in that book. Which one out of the 7 is your favorite and why?
Okay. The favorite is habit 5, which talks about listening. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. That's the toughest challenge everybody has. So even as a coach, I need to listen more. So that's my favorite. Still practicing.
Great. So how important is coaching in life?
I think anybody who can find their answers themselves, they may not probably feel the need for a coach. But somebody who feels that they are stuck, and it could be me also. So there are people who would coach me because everybody's mind is programmed in a certain way. When we are unable to break that pattern and somebody wants to shift that pattern, a coach is required. So champions also have coaches, and those who want to become champions, they also have coaches. Anybody can have a coach.
Sure. So what you're saying is that coaching is for everybody. Whoever wants to know more about themselves, get clarity on their purpose or whatever, they should have a coach.
My youngest coach, he has been a 12-year-old.
Wow.
And so anybody, parents, children, CEOs, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. So now, when you say the youngest coachee has been a 12-year-old, would you like to share a little bit about what are the things that shifted in his mind? What is the clarity that he got in the process of coaching?
So normally what happens in coaching is that they see themselves in a different form, in a different picture, something they were never able to see about themselves. Their belief system also becomes stronger. But then I also give certain frameworks that they work on based on certain principles. So it starts with a belief, because if you don't believe in yourself, nothing else will happen. So it's about shifting their mindset. So same happened with the boy also.
Okay, great. So when you train and coach the leaders in various organizations, is there a particular methodology that you use to coach the leaders to get their answers, get better their performance? How do you go about that coaching?
Okay, so first is to ensure they have an open mind.
Yeah.
So I start with a question saying that if I say yes to everything you say, am I really helping you? So their answer is no, which means they should be open to me thinking different from them and saying no to certain things. But I have to be in their mind and heart. I can't really advise them.
Yeah.
So what I do is I ask questions. So it's called coaching questions. They are very powerful questions. And then they tell me that nobody has asked them such a question and they have never asked that question to themselves. So that starts shifting their mindset. And then you start building a framework slowly.
Sure. Then there are obviously some tools that you use to help them.
So it's like tangoing, right? So my question would come from their previous sentence.
Yeah. So at this point, what I want to know is that, do you remember any such coaching? And I'm saying that coaching always helps, and you must have helped, and you have helped, I'm aware of it, many people in the process. But do you remember any one client or any one situation that had a major paradigm shift? Something that you can remember?
I mean, lots of them. It's been almost 25 years now. Can I share a recent one? So you know that I write a daily quote.
Yes.
And people have been telling me to convert it to a podcast, but I myself have not done it. So I started coaching somebody recently, and he said he's not very confident about himself. And he said, how do I start? So he started by learning one word a day, English word. And then I said, why don't you start teaching it to other people? So he started a podcast. So that built his confidence. Then he said, can I convert your coach into a podcast? I said, go ahead, do it. Wow. And now he converts my daily coach into a 2.5 minutes podcast. And that's amazing. That's something even I cannot do. He does it better than what I could have done. Wow. And so somebody who was hesitant to even speak is publicly creating podcasts. It's just been about 1 month. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, that's wonderful. And can I ask you why you wouldn't do it?
I'm an introvert, I think, by nature. You will not see any of my YouTube videos. But somewhere I also want to quietly work. Maybe it's my own internal programming. So I feel, our heart and lungs work, but they're not really exposed. The roots of a tree are never exposed. I want to work very silently and very quietly.
So on that note, I should thank you for coming on this video and having a chat with us. Thank you so much once again. So at this point, I want to ask you, what are the 3 greatest tips or ideas that you would like to share with our viewers and audience on how to make their life better? Anything that can help them take it, use it, and make their life better. And I'm sure that you are a treasure of so many tips, but today I want to ask you your 3 best tips that you want to give to.
Okay, thank you. See, I never believed I could coach. I never believed I could facilitate. So somebody helped me discover what I could do. And then I realized that everyone is unique. So whenever I ask people that, do you believe everyone is unique? Their answer is always yes. Then if I ask them, have you discovered your uniqueness? Most of them say no. So my first tip would be, if you believe you are unique, explore yourself, discover that uniqueness. If you don't do that, otherwise you're losing your true identity if you don't discover. That's my
Right. So the tip number 1, discover your uniqueness.
Yeah. Okay. Uniqueness. Yeah. Discover your uniqueness.
Great. Yes.
The second tip I would say is, we learn a lot, we don't practice. So we learn something today, tomorrow I want to learn something new, third day something new. So what happens is we learn 10 times of what we practice. I would want people to reverse that. Practice 10 times of what you learn.
Wow.
So if you learn one thing today, practice it 10 times.
Very, very good. So practice more than you learn.
Yeah.
Right? Practice more than you learn.
Yeah.
And the third tip?
Third tip is, I would say, as you are progressing your own life, think about the bigger picture. Make it inclusive. Be more collaborative than competitive. Like my parents have never taught me to be competitive. I have never competed other than maybe a carom board or a badminton. I don't think I've ever competed in life. So think more collaboratively rather than competitive. That would be my tip.
Wow. So think collaborative, not competitive.
Or people may not agree. So I would say think more collaborative and less competitive if they don't agree with not thinking.
Should we say think win-win?
Think
collaborate and think win-win rather than competitive. You're so right. But tell me something, I'm a person, and I'm asking you a question as a coach. I'm a person who does not compete with others, but there is an internal competition that happens with me. Every single day, I should be better than what I was before. Okay, so it's not really, I would say, a competition where I fail, I will reprimand myself or I will, curse myself for it. But there is definitely a competition within, not with others, but with myself. So is that fine? Is that something which is okay?
See, a competitive mindset is good. But instead of, I may replace the word competition with self-improvement. Okay. We can use any word that connects with us as long as it helps us grow.
Yeah.
Right? So if it helps you grow, perfect.
Yeah. Right. You have a growth mindset, right?
Yeah, you have a growth mindset.
Yeah, a growth mindset would always be a win-win, not.
Yeah. See, when the moment you think competition, you feel one has to win, one has to lose. Absolutely. So I just replace it with a different. I'll share something. I was once hired by someone, and as a coach, so I asked them, so what are the current problems that you want to discuss? He said, I don't have any problems in life. I said, okay, any current challenges? He said, no challenges. So I said, so what have you hired me for? He said, see, I don't think there's a challenge in a life. I replace that with the word situation. So I said, okay, what is the first situation? He said, cash flow. I don't have money. So he doesn't say it's a problem. He doesn't say it's a challenge. He says it's a situation. Wow. Right? So like that, he gave me 3 situations. Somebody else could have said it's a problem. So I realized that when we replace a word, that shifts our feeling and thinking also. So I leave it to you, whatever helps you.
Yeah. Okay, great. So our 3 top tips for today is discover your uniqueness. Practice more than you learn, which is important. Learning is important, but practicing what you learn is more important. And collaborate to go forward in life, have a growth mindset, and think win-win. So competition is fine as long as it is healthy and it brings about growth either in yourself or in others. Is that right?
Yes. So can I add one more thing, a step ahead of collaboration? Sure. Something I learned in Habit 6 is synergize, which means synergy comes from differences. Like hydrogen and oxygen create water, and it's the different notes that create music, or different vegetables that create a cuisine. So solutions come from differences and not similarities. So when we find somebody is different, how do we convert it to synergy rather than getting into a conflict? So that is also something we must practice.
Wow. We're going to have 4 tips in this particular area. That synergize, okay, have the synergy between whoever you are trying to collaborate with, have synergy. And that will have beautiful results.
Yeah, and remember, synergy comes from differences because everybody knows the word synergy. Yeah. But they have to remember it comes from differences and not similarities.
Right. So we can say that synergize and accept the differences to create something which is positive out of it.
Yeah. Or let's say, not embrace it, invite it, seek differences.
Embrace the differences. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much for such great ideas and such insights into what coaching is all about, who needs it, and what are the greatest tips. I'm sure our viewers are going to love this session and take these tips and utilize in their lives to have better lives. Thank you.
And Samira, I want to thank you that Running 53, this is my first video that's going to come. So you helped me break a mindset.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much. And this means a lot. And I hope that you people are able to see you, people are able to hear you. And I'm sure that, this shift, if it has happened, then it should continue. That will be my hope, because you have so much to offer to the world.
Thank you, Samira. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and all the best.
Wish you a nice day. Bye-bye.